The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're stepping into one of the most mysterious, unsettling, and endlessly fascinating paintings ever created. The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. This is a work that has haunted scholars, artists, and viewers for over 500 years, and the more you look at it, the more it pulls you in. Before we dive into the painting itself, let's talk about the man behind it. Hieronymus Bosch was born around 1450 in the town of Hertogenbosch in the Netherlands, a name so difficult to pronounce that he simply took the city's shortened nickname as his own. We know surprisingly little about his personal life. He was a member of a conservative religious brotherhood. He was financially comfortable, and he almost certainly never left the Netherlands. And yet, his imagination traveled to places no human eye had ever seen. Bosch lived during a time of profound anxiety. The late medieval world was obsessed with sin, death, and damnation. The Black Death had already swept through Europe multiple times. The Church held enormous power over people's fears and desires. Bosch channeled all of this collective dread, and perhaps a dark, sardonic wit, into imagery that feels less like painting and more like a fever dream. He died in 1516, leaving behind a body of work that defies easy categorization. He was not a Renaissance man in the Italian sense. He was something stranger, and something far more difficult to explain. The Garden of Earthly Delights is a triptych, a three-paneled altarpiece painted on oak panels, and it measures roughly 4 meters wide when open. It was probably completed sometime between 1490 and 1510, and today it hangs in the Museo del Prado in Madrid, where it continues to stop visitors in their tracks. The painting reads from left to right, like a story, though it is a story without a comfortable ending. Left panel, Paradise. The left panel shows the Garden of Eden. It is serene, lush, and almost believable, almost. God presents Eve to Adam beneath a pink, crystalline fountain. Strange animals populate the landscape: a giraffe, an elephant, exotic birds. A unicorn drinks at a pool. It looks like paradise should look. But look closer. There are already hints of wrongness. The animals are slightly off. The flora is alien. Even in this supposedly innocent world, Bosch seems to be warning us. This paradise is fragile, perhaps already corrupted. Central panel, the Garden of Earthly Delights. Then we arrive at the enormous central panel, which gives the entire triptych its name. And this is where Bosch truly lets his imagination run wild. Hundreds of naked human figures fill a vast, open landscape. They swim in pools, ride animals in great circular processions, eat oversized fruit, and interact with each other and with bizarre hybrid creatures in ways that range from playful to deeply strange. Giant strawberries, enormous pearls, and translucent spheres appear throughout the scene. People emerge from shells, hide inside flowers, and seem entirely consumed by pleasure. The mood is oddly joyful, almost carnival-like. And that is precisely the point. This is the world of earthly temptation in full swing. The pleasures are real, but they are also hollow, fleeting, and ultimately leading somewhere very dark. The figures seem unaware, or unconcerned, that they are in a kind of beautiful trap. Art historians have debated the meaning of this panel for centuries. Is it a moral warning? A satirical vision? Some scholars have even suggested it was meant to be enjoyed rather than condemned. A radical idea for its time. The truth is, Bosch may have intended all of these things at once. Right panel, Hell. And then we turn to the right panel. The temperature drops. The sky goes dark. This is Bosch's hell. and it is unlike anything else in the history of art. Gone are the bright greens and blues. In their place, black skies, burning cities on the horizon, and a landscape populated by instruments of torture, many of them, bizarrely, musical instruments. A giant pair of ears armed with a blade stalks the scene. A bird-headed monster devours sinners and defecates them into a pit. Figures are crucified on a harp. Others are swallowed alive. The imagery is grotesque, but it is not random. Every element seems to carry symbolic weight, punishment fitting specific sins, vices made literal and physical. Pride, lust, and gluttony are all on display, transformed into eternal suffering. And yet, even here, Bosch's imagination feels almost playful, as if he is enjoying himself just a little too much. There is a dark, almost comedic energy to the chaos that makes it feel less like a pious warning and more like the vision of a man who understood human weakness with uncomfortable precision. So what does it all mean? The honest answer is, we don't fully know. Bosch left no written explanation, and his symbolism draws on sources: alchemy, folklore, religious iconography, popular proverbs that were partly opaque even to his contemporaries. What we do know is that this painting has never stopped speaking to people. Surrealists like Salvador Dali idolized it. Musicians, filmmakers, and writers have all drawn on its imagery. In an age of information overload and moral confusion, Bosch's vision of a world drunk on pleasure, stumbling toward catastrophe, feels more relevant than ever. The Garden of Earthly Delights is not a comfortable painting. It is not meant to be. It is a mirror held up to humanity. And what it reflects is strange, seductive, grotesque, and absolutely unforgettable. If you found this analysis interesting, consider subscribing and leaving a comment below. I'd love to hear what you see when you look at this painting. And if you want to go deeper, I highly recommend visiting the Prado in Madrid, where you can stand in front of the original and let Bosch do the rest. Until next time.